Davis, and welcome to another Don't Know Much About Minute. You know, I know it's almost Memorial Day. I know that because I saw the first stories about how gas prices are going up at the pump and the first swimsuit sales. But Memorial Day isn't about travel and picnics and going to the beach and having a barbecue. It is the most solemn day on the national calendar, and unfortunately that gets forgotten in the fun of the first big weekend of summer. Memorial Day grew out of the Civil War, the most deadly conflict in American history. 600,000 American soldiers died on both sides, Union and Confederacy. That's an astonishing 2% of the population. In other words, if that happened today, nearly 6 million people would die. It's a staggering thought. And that's why almost every town, every village in America was touched by loss during the Civil War. And a practice began almost around the country of going out and laying fresh flowers on the graves of the fallen soldiers. In 1868, this became an official day known as Decoration Day. People literally went out to decorate the graves of the soldiers. It was mostly a northern holiday, and it was celebrated on May 30th because that was the day on which most flowers were in bloom in the north. But many of the southern states didn't like that. They thought it was a northern holiday, and they had their own Confederate Memorial Days. Some of the Confederate states, former Confederate states, still do. As time went by, Memorial Day or Decoration Day got forgotten. The Civil War generation died off, but then came World War I in the early 20th century and tremendous losses in the European trench warfare. Americans were once again reminded of the loss, the sacrifice, the supreme sacrifice that American soldiers were making in battle. So Memorial Day became once again a widely celebrated holiday, and a young American woman also read a poem called In Flanders Field, in which the poet talks about the poppies blowing between the crosses on a battlefield. Inspired by that, she thought that poppy would be a perfect symbol of Memorial Day, and she began to sell poppies to raise money for veterans and their families. And that's why to this day you'll still see veterans groups selling poppies on Memorial Day, a sad reminder of the loss and the death that Memorial Day is supposed to commemorate. Nowadays, Memorial Day is sort of a 3-day holiday, and we're all thinking about the beach and about the barbecue, but it's not about the picnic. It's about the supreme sacrifice, and we should always remember that. There have been many wars in our past. We think about the Civil War or World War II, but there are also the wars like the Creek War and the Seminole War that most people have either forgotten about or never learned about. And so on this weekend, on this day, when we take a moment to remember those who made the supreme sacrifice, learn a little bit of the